Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided to the Co-Star, the official newspaper of the Borough of Belmar, and the Asbury Park Press on December 2nd, 2020. A notice of the meeting was posted on the bulletin board of the municipal building. This meeting is being brought to you through Zoom. It'll run just like any other regular council meeting. During the public comment sections, please click the raise hand button or dial *9 on your phone and wait to be called on. And please remember to state your name and address before speaking. Thank you.
Thank you, April. If everybody could join me in saluting the flag of our great nation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If everybody just could have a moment of silence for our troops, their families abroad, all our first responders, and everybody dealing with the health pandemic. Thank you. Okay, first workshop, we're gonna have a report from the Environmental Commission, and they have a presentation for us. So I think Ed Lippincott is on to do that.
Stand by, yes, find Ed. Ed promoting you to panelist.
There it is.
And where'd he go? Everyone stand by, sorry. Was he there? Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Aha, there he goes.
I unmuted myself.
There you go.
There you go.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. I just have a few words, and then the PowerPoint, John, is going to be done by Nozer Mehta. You should see him in your participants list.
Thank you.
Okay. My name is Ed Lippincott, 305 4th Avenue, Belmar. I'm the chairman of the Belmar Environmental Commission, and I'm here to present tonight our updated environmental resource inventory to the mayor and council for inclusion in the master plan and for use by both the zoning and the planning boards. The updates made to the report mostly reflect changes to the local environment since Hurricane Sandy. I don't know about the rest of you, but I've lived in Belmar my entire life and I've never seen anything like that. I've been through a lot of hurricanes, a lot of storms, and that was a real eye-opener for me. So we felt that the environmental resource inventory needed an update to reflect a lot of the changes that we saw locally. It's our hope that we don't forget the lessons of Hurricane Sandy going forward, and that we can account for the challenges presented by both climate change and sea level rise. The ERI update has been a collaborative effort of the entire Environmental Commission. So I want to thank all the members that helped get this across the finish line. We've had 20 hard copies printed up that I dropped off at the Borough Hall the other day for you guys to distribute as you see fit. We should have some available to the public, maybe one at the public library. But anyway, the point person for getting this done was really Nozer Mehta, who lives on 16th Avenue. So he has put together a brief PowerPoint presentation to just show you the changes that we've made. So with that, I'm gonna turn it over to Nozer. Thanks to the mayor and council and for April and Administrator Kirschenbaum for putting us on the agenda tonight. We appreciate it. We look forward to your ongoing support with this important work. So thank you.
Thanks, Ed.
Thank you.
Thank you. What was that name again with the N? Is that?
Nozer, N-O-Z-E-R.
N-O-Z-E-R.
Yeah, Nozer, if you could click the raise hand button, it looks like you might be here under a different name.
That's possible.
April's the best. There we go. Amy, thank you so much. Stand by. One more second. And so hitting some buttons. Here we go. Stand by. Hey,
All right.
there he is.
There he is.
All right, very good. So thank you, Ed, and Mr. Mayor and members of the council. So I've been asked to give you a brief overview of the updates that we have done to the Belmar ERI. And as you folks surely know, it is meant to provide an in-depth knowledge about all of the borough's local natural resources and the information that you need for yourselves and for the planning board and others to carry out your functions. So if I have the ability to share my screen, which I do, I will take you through just a few summary slides, which will give you an idea of what were the changes and updates that we have made to this ERI. So firstly, just as a background, the original ERI was prepared in 2008, and it was done with the collaboration of a professional group called as EnviroTactics, as well as several members of the ERI. And now what we are presenting to you today is the extensive update that we have been done to reflect all of the changes that have happened since 2008. So in the last 12 years or so, because of Hurricane Sandy, as well as other improvements that have been made by the township. So just as a background, the Belmar ERI is an assessment and inventory of all of the natural resources in the town. And it serves as a reference and addendum to the borough master plan and as the basis for the planning board ordinances and the land management techniques. Also, it can be used as an educational tool for residents to learn more about their community and its natural resources. And it will be posted, as Ed said, on the website for residents to view, as well as there will be printed copies available at the Borough Hall and at the library. So the topics that were covered by the original ERI, which as I mentioned was done by the BEC in 2008 along with EnviroTactics, and I should mention a smart growth planning grant as well from the Association of New Jersey Environmental Commissions. So this gave a brief overview and history of Belmar, the general conditions such as vegetation, climate, soil, wildlife, water quality, etc. And then it gave more detailed descriptions of the 7 zones of Belmar, the beach, the eastern residential area, the downtown area, and so on. So now the updates that we have made, they are all throughout the booklet, but the main ones fall into these 6 categories. We have given the latest water quality report and the measurements of the Enterococcus levels at the Ocean Beach and at the L Street Beach. We have updated a lot of the Department of Energy Protection figures for all of the major categories in the 7 zones of Belmar. And therefore, a total of 18 figures and 3 tables have been added or updated. We have a section on Hurricane Sandy and its effects on Belmar, and I will get to that slide as well. We have briefly mentioned the Seaport redevelopment plan, and then we've talked about the 2 engineering projects that were done at Silver Lake and Lake Como to install outfall pipes for flooding mitigation from storms. So overall, the changes and additions to the text have been done, add 26 pages to the original report. So now the booklet is about 109 pages. So just to go through the categories I referred to earlier, the first was the water quality report. So in this case, so we have summarized and added the latest data, what has been done from testing at the L Street Beach as well as at the Ocean Beach. And as well as the water quality of our drinking water. So all of these data are presented in tables and text for several pages of the document. Then the second category is the updating of maps from NJDEP, from FEMA, and the engineering maps from all of the changes and updates that have been made in the 7 zones of Belmar. So this slide just shows you some representative maps that have been added. A couple are from FEMA, a couple are from, NJDEP, one is from FEMA, and the 2 slides below are the changes that have been made at Lake Como subsequent to the outfall pipe engineering that was carried out over there. Then the next category is the effects of Hurricane Sandy. So we talk about the rebuilding of the boardwalk and the ocean front pavilions. And then we've taken excerpts from a book published by the state of New Jersey, which was titled New Jersey 5 Years Post Sandy. And also the Belmar Borough's own 2016 Master Plan Reexamination Report and Update. And all of this data have been summarized in this section of the Belmar ERI. So also there's updated data from FEMA. So FEMA has revised all the flood zones in order to more accurately depict the various storm occurrences, as well as publish a preliminary advisory base flood elevation. And these are summarized as well. The latest FEMA flood insurance rate map is also shown in this section of the booklet. The Seaport redevelopment plan has been briefly described. The historical background of this area has been given, and it's mentioned that Belmar is in the 3rd phase of this multi-year, multi-million-dollar Marina and Seaport redevelopment project. And we mentioned also that the details of the 2nd amended and restated redevelopment plan is available under Ordinance 2018-13 from the Mayor and the Borough Council in Belmar. Then there are major updates to the 2 lakes. This one is at Silver Lake. And here we mentioned that there were 2 outfall pipes that were installed, which were initially 2 pipes that combine into a single 48-inch pipe. And this pipe extends 5 blocks under A Street to the Shark River Inlet for discharging. The backflow is controlled by a flapper valve, and the outflow is controlled by a guillotine gate. So the water level can be adjusted and flooding can be mitigated if storms occur in the future. And then lastly, we have talked about the major work that was done in Lake Como for flood mitigation. So we mentioned that there was a 60-inch outfall pipe that was installed, and that having done this, now it is anticipated that any storm, which is a so-called 25 years category storm, will not cause any flooding or any other damage to areas surrounding Lake Como, both on our side in Belmar and on the other side, in Belmar and Lake Como, and on the other side in Spring Lake. We have 2 figures here which show the details of the project and all of the expected results of the project, which will show how the mitigation will take place. So that's a brief description of everything that we've updated in this ERI, and we hope that it will be helpful to the council and to the other planning board and other organizations in our borough. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that presentation, and I'm sure it'll be very helpful going forward. So thank both of you guys, Ed and Nate. Was it
Noser.
Noser? Sorry, Tom.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tom.
Right.
I'm getting old. I forgot his name real quick.
No problem.
But yeah, thank you guys, and thank you for what the Environmental Commission does. We really do appreciate that. So, and I'm sure it's going to be helpful. Yes, Tom.
Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to add something. I mean, apart from, because I've seen this document, I'm very familiar with it from when the first version was done. And I really, really, really appreciate the work that the Environmental Commission has done to update. the information about where the flooding occurred during Sandy, the information about soil structures and water table levels is really, really important for the land use boards like planning and zoning. But to be honest with you, my favorite part of it, for someone who did not grow up and live their whole life in Belmar, is the history section. It's incredibly informative. I really recommend that. That April, is it on the website already? I know he sent you the file.
Yes, it is on the website.
Okay, great. I mean, people could just go and click on the website at belmar.com, and I really recommend you look at it. It's a very attractive document, but really read the history part. It's just amazing. Thanks.
Thank you. And again, thank you for the Environmental Commission for updating all that. I did read, I know I did read the 2008 one, so it'll be interesting reading for the updates. All right, moving on. Just a couple things under workshop. We're working on first aid. I know that EMS services in Belmar coming up for April 1st. Ed Kirschenbaum, as our business administrator, has been working diligently on that, having meetings. We're confident that we'll have EMS services in place for April 1st. And hopefully by either the February's meeting, one of the February's meetings, we'll have something concrete to share with everybody. I want to bring up that we're just shy of about $100,000 in savings on the recycling for this past year. We took a look at it. I know the DPW took it over. From what the lowest bid was to what the DPW was able to do, and that's including everything and going through all the costs and everything. It was just shy of $100,000. So I really do want to commend the DPW. It was 1 year, and I have to thank the residents. It was a little bit of an issue at the beginning with the blue cans, and people were getting stickers to make sure that they get them. And I want to thank all the residents for helping the DPW. And it was a bigger savings than I thought it was going to be. So I really do commend those guys for bringing that cost into a big savings for the borough. The other thing I have coming up this year, there's a couple of things we got to take a look at. One is we're just about finished up with the sidewalk assessment. So we finished up with Mazer and finally got all the numbers under control. So in the near future, we'll be having meetings to set up meetings with the residents to talk about their sidewalk assessment. I know it's been a couple of years since their sidewalks are done, but our finance committee had to work to figure out what the costs were. There was costs that were not under any kind of resolution, and we couldn't figure out where the costs were coming from for the engineers. But finally, the finance committee has got that all together, and they worked hard to get that. So that'll be coming up this year. We'll have meetings and get that starting to take care of, so we don't let that go. What else do I have? Oh, the painting of the water tank. We found out, because we got to get that water tank painted for DEP. They're going to start fining us if we don't paint the water tank on 12th Avenue. We found out in 2012 that it was bonded for to be painted, and it looked like the money was used elsewhere. So we're trying to work with our professionals to figure out how we're going to get that done, but that has to be done this year or we're going to start being fined. We can't wait another year on that. And the only other thing I have is, I know there's been a lot of talk on the disability badges, and there was some issues with the way we are doing our online beach sales this year. I was hoping Pat Wan would be here, but she's under the weather tonight to talk about that. But her committee is working with Business Administrator Kirschenbaum, And she will have a report on how we're going to handle disability badges for this year, next meeting. And I think that's all I have for workshop. If anybody has anything else?
Mayor,
Yes, Jim. Councilman
Hi.
McCracken.
I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I heard you correctly. So, I was aware, I've been aware the last 2 years that we've had to repaint the water tower or the water tank over there on 12th Avenue. And we've been discussing with the finance committees and our CFOs, how to access, resources and money to have that done. And you just said it was bonded for in 2012?
No, 2015. 2015, it was bonded for, our finance team did the research and found out that it was bonded for back then of $350,000. And it looked like the money went to pay off a lawsuit. So, we're still trying to figure out how, we have to get the money to paint that or we're going to start getting fined. So, the finance team, we will have some kind of a solution on it this year because it has to be done. When they look back, they found out that it was bonded for $350,000 in 2015.
So, maybe this is a question for Mr. Dasty, but can a borough bond for money and then spend it on something else?
Councilman, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Let me talk with you and the council about that offline. That is certainly disturbing. All right.
Yeah, it's the first I'm hearing of it. So I'm just.
We sold bonds. We sold bonds for the specific purpose, apparently, of acquiring money. First, I've heard of it too, to paint the water tower, and it went somewhere else. That's disturbing. We'll have to look into this a little more. I'll be speaking with Mr. Kirscher back, I guess, tomorrow, and we'll see what happens.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else on anything? Okay, moving on. April, we receive any petitions?
No, I did not.
Okay. Approval of the minutes of the December 28th.
Your mic went off, sir. There you go.
All right, sorry about that. Approval of the minutes of the December 28th meeting and the January 5th meeting.
I'm going to do them separately. Can I have a motion to approve the December 28th, 2020 minutes?
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilman Carvelli?
Yes.
Councilman McCracken?
Yes.
Mayor Walsifer?
Yes.
And then a motion to approve the minutes of the January 5th, 2021 meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilman Carvelli?
Yes.
Councilman McCracken?
Yes.
Mayor Walsifer?
Yes. Okay, to council, Councilman Carvelli?
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have too much, I really don't have anything to report. It's been quiet as far as my boards go. I guess the Harbor Commission is in hibernation for the winter. The BBP, there's ongoing discussion about how to restart them. I think I mentioned this last meeting as well. But again, we want to be very careful about how, what sort of assessments we put on businesses, seeing as how there's been a lot of economic stress over the past year. So that's ongoing. And then planning board meeting is next weekend or next week, next Monday. And other than that, I don't have anything to report. So I will end it there. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Councilman McCracken?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'd also like to thank the Environmental Commission for putting together this report and sending this. I concur with Councilman Brennan. This is a really, really interesting read. I have it up on my other screen here. Not only the history of Belmar, but the different zones. And, I know this group on the Environmental Commission, they're volunteers. And this, putting together a 109-page report like this takes work. So thank you very much. And, I think as a council and our zoning board and planning board and all of our groups in town, this should be required reading, and the information from this report should certainly take into, any considerations that we have with our zoning in the future and the revisions to our master plan and all of our areas of town, because there's certainly vital and helpful information in here. So I'd like to thank them for that. I'd also like to just remind everybody that there is a website that you can sign up to get on the list to be vaccinated for COVID-19. It is certainly very important that folks do this so that we can hopefully achieve some herd immunity by the spring or summer and get beyond this terrible pandemic. Those who've been severely ill or lost their lives, during this time certainly remain in our thoughts and our prayers. One of the things I wanted to ask our borough administrator is if we have a senior citizen in town or anybody who may not have access to the website or may not have the technology to get signed up for this vaccine, would it be possible for them to contact Borough Hall and have someone there assist them if they needed to? I'd hate to have somebody not be able to get on the list because they don't have the technology or resources to be able to sign up.
Yeah, they can give us a call and we'll take care of that.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think that'd be great. Belmar Housing Authority, I reported at our last meeting here. For them, they meet the first Monday of the month, so we have a meeting coming up in February, and the Shade Tree Commission meeting is tomorrow evening, and I will be attending that. So that's my report, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You bring up a good point, Councilmember Kraken. Maybe we really should put out a code red message for some of our seniors. Maybe there is some out there that don't have access to a computer, so that they are fully aware that we would help them in any way to make sure that they get signed up to be vaccinated. That was a good point you brought up. So we're definitely going to work on that and maybe get, at least they have phones, I'm sure, so we can get that message out to them. And if anybody out there knows of anybody that doesn't have computer access, we certainly will help them out to get on the list to get vaccinated. But thank you for bringing that up. Councilman Brennan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also want to just thank everybody on the Environmental Commission. I mean, I watched them working on it for the last 2 years. They've really been working really hard. Not just Chairman Ed Lippincott and Nozer Mehta, but also Nick Valenti was very, very instrumental in getting a lot of the figures and some of the maps, because he has connections in Trenton. It was really a group effort. And again, I'm hopeful that it'll serve really good usefulness to our land use boards. That's really what it's about. I mean, one of the things about the ERI, it's important to remember, it's not just like an idea that the Environmental Commission had, oh, let's do this. It's part of what the state statute that establishes environmental commissions includes in what their responsibilities are. The Environmental Commission is supposed to put an environmental resources inventory together, and it's supposed to be given to the land use boards and code enforcement so that people there can access that information that much easier. So they did a great job, and I'm really happy that it's done. And now they're on to bigger and better, I guess. I don't really have anything else, except I do want to share something personal. I got a scare that I had been exposed by, to somebody who definitely had tested positive. So we looked for a place, my wife also, and we looked for a place to get tested. The county does COVID testing. I don't know if it's every Friday, but they did it last Friday at the Asbury Park train station, 9 to 12. We were able to go right over. We got tested right away. There weren't a lot of people and there was plenty of room. And then we got our results on Monday, and I'm negative. And so is my wife. Thank you. Okay, that's it for me. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilman Brennan. And yes, I want to echo what words on the Environmental Commission. It's not an easy report to put together. You guys are all volunteers, and I mean, it's really reading through the report. It was really a great job that you guys really did. And like the last one was done in 2008, and you know, I still sometimes refer to the 2008 one, so it'll be nice to have it all updated. But thank you guys, and I want to thank everybody that volunteers for all our boards. We have a lot of different boards in town. They're all volunteers that you know, that are passionate about doing the things they do, whether it's planning, zoning, library. And you know, I had to swear in a lot of people this coming month, and you know, it's nice to see how the Belmar community really comes out and volunteers. So I do appreciate that. The only other thing that I have is we did 3 ribbon cuttings today for new businesses. There was Mr. Greek, and the name of the new barber shop on Main Street in the 1000 block is I'm losing the name right now, but there's a new barber shop.
Shoreside there, Shoreside.
Thank you, John. And then we had Lena out on Highway 71 who does body and beauty. They were so those are the 3 new businesses that come into town, and we do really appreciate them opening these businesses during this pandemic, as you know, as a lot of businesses are really struggling. So it was nice to see them, and we did the ribbon cuttings for them today. So if anybody can patronize them, that would be nice. Because they're new businesses in town. Other than that, like I said in the workshop meeting, we're having a lot of meetings with different EMT professionals to make sure that we're going to have emergency medical services on April 1st. So I think that's all I have for this, my report. So thank you, everybody. All right, we're moving on to public session for any of the resolution items.
If anyone would like to comment on a resolution that's listed on the agenda, please click the raise hand button and remember to state your name and address.
I see no hands.
Can I have a motion to close the public session?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can I have a motion to approve the resolutions as listed on the consent agenda?
Motion.
I'll make the motion. Second.
There you go.
Okay, Councilman Brennan,
Yes.
Councilman Carvelli,
Yes.
Councilman McCracken,
Yes.
Mayor Walsifer.
Yes.
Next is first reading and introduction of ordinance 2021-01. This is an ordinance amending Chapter 4 regarding return check fees. Do we have a motion to offer for first reading?
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Brennan,
Yes.
Councilman Carvelli,
Yes.
Councilman McCracken,
Yes.
Mayor Walsifer.
Yes.
Next is first reading and introduction on ordinance 2021-02. This is amending bond ordinance 2020-42. We have a motion to offer for first reading.
Motion.
Motion. Second.
Okay, Councilman Carvelli,
Yes.
Councilman Brennan,
Yes.
Councilman McCracken,
Yes.
Mayor Walsifer.
I just talked about this in workshop. This week, we had a bond ordinance for $300,000 for the new water main on 15th Avenue, and the bids come out higher than that. So this is just redoing that ordinance, but yes.
That's it.
Okay, on the public session. Anybody from the public has anything that they want to talk about?
Hello.
John Walsh, go ahead.
Yes, hi, John.
Hi, how are you guys?
Just
I
please
just
remember
wanna-
to state your name and address.
Well, everyone else said hi to me. Hi, guys. It's John Walsh, 1101 B Street. I just want to bring up when you guys mentioned the COVID-19.nj.gov for the pre-registration. I think we need to make it evident to our residents and especially to our seniors that they need to schedule their own appointments. The state is not going to register you. This pre-registration site, to me personally, is kind of a wash. I scheduled a lot of my family's appointments this past week. I mean, we kind of lucked out on a site. And people also don't know who's eligible. I understand that changes every day, but maybe when we send out that code red, we can be specific for who's eligible. I mean, I'm talking to someone who is waiting for the email to say that they're eligible. And we're watching the news every day. And if you're 65 plus in New Jersey, you're eligible. If you're a smoker from 16 to 64, you're eligible. So if we can, I think we need to be specific when we're talking about vaccines, especially in a public government setting. So if that could be noted, that'd be greatly appreciated.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John. Stand by. Katrina, here I come. Stand by. Go ahead.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Katrina Klapsis, 1304 B Street.
Hi, Katrina.
Nice to see you all. I like your background, by the way. It looks kind of nice. Good job, John. I'm assuming that's John.
Yes, it is.
Okay, a couple things. First of all, I think the environmental commission there did a great job. And as a resident who was fairly new, living full time in Belmar when Sandy hit, the fact that that has been redone and updated, because like everyone here, hopefully that was a one and done, but it's great that we can have information to look into. Even the zoning, the flood zoning maps and stuff like that, I think it's very helpful. So I'd like to thank those guys, everyone on that commission. I know how hard it is to do that kind of stuff. Second thing I'd like to say is I saw our debt statement, and I'd like to say that I was happy to see our debt statement, that our debt statement is looking pretty healthy. And if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mayor or anybody, but it was like at 1%, I think, right? Something at that point. That's what we take in other words, if that was what it was. That was a great thing. So I'm thankful to all of you guys. I know how hard everyone has been working up there to try to get a handle on all of these, our financial situation, which brings me to the last and most upsetting thing. I waited till the end to talk about. I vaguely remember being at a meeting where that bond to paint that water tower was approved. And as so many things, and not to bring up the prior administration, but I'm sorry, I'm going to bring up the prior administration. There were so many things going on that it was hard to keep track. But I have to say that there have been many times that I drove up 12th and said, whatever happened to painting that water thing? Because I know they borrowed money for it somewhere. So it's very disturbing as a resident to find that that bond was, and a $350,000 bond, Madon, that's a lot of jingo. And I would be very grateful and to pay off a lawsuit. Oh my God. Okay, so I would be very grateful if you guys could keep the public abreast of this situation, because as Mr. McCracken said, and Mr. Dasty kind of like alluded to, I find it appalling that anybody could take money that was bonded for a particular reason and use it for something else, and nobody ever knows where the money went. So it would be great if you could keep us transparently informed upon what goes on with that particular situation. And on that, again, I want to thank you for all your hard work in all these departments. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, either that or Timmy.
Stand by. Waiting for, there we go. Sherry, are you there? Stand by.
I think he probably assumes that we fought, but,
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Go ahead.
Sherry
Thank you.
Russo, 1218 Briarwood Road. I have three things maybe. Number one, I would like to thank the Environmental Commission also. I think that was an amazing presentation, wonderfully done. Second thing I would like to talk about, it says that all the council members are on all these Facebook pages and you can really see what's going on and being written. I don't know if that's true or not, but my question is about the trash in Belmar. It seems that, whether or not you've seen all the posts that people are posting, all the different towns and the trash cans they have, and how ours are all taken away. And I know that we have some of the metal ones still, but they're not at every avenue on the beach. And I was just curious about why and how. And I know that when we were at the last meeting, we talked that there was $1 million extra in beach utility. There's trash like we walk along the boardwalk almost every single day, unless it's raining or extremely cold. There's just so much trash blowing around everywhere. There was trash from, I'm assuming, people's recycling containers. There's like milk cartons and rotisserie chicken containers. And this like other towns have trash cans that don't blow away. Is it possible for us to get them? And if not, is our solution to do nothing? Or
I believe we have some on order. So they will be going in down at the boardwalk. Some of the metal ones that will be there permanently.
okay. And is it possible that there'll be one up at the inlet also for the fishermen? Do you know? I know that the thing I always hate over there is like the fishing line. I'm always afraid it's going to wrap around the sea life's, body. So as the guys cut the lines there, will there be trash cans up that way too? Is that?
There was, but I know that they took them away because of the storms, but we'll see. I'm not sure what they ordered for the metal cans that are permanent, but we'll find out. We'll find out.
All right. And my third thing also is about the bonds. And I was previously told that the water tank that was supposed to be painted, that money went to paving streets and fixing a water main that broke. Was that not what happened?
I think there was from what we could work out or look at, or the finance team, they believe that the money was taken. There was a lawsuit on something that took place, and it was before us. So I'm only listening to what the finance team tells me.
Right.
It looks like it was a lawsuit from when they did the pipes over at Rhode Island Point, where they put the new water lines. There was some kind of a problem, and to settle the lawsuit, they used the money for that. But we weren't here, so we're still digging into it.
Oh, so that was like before your time.
Yes, 2015. Yes.
Oh, I wasn't sure when you were you on council in 2015? Am I wrong? I know
I started in 2017.
Oh, I just moved here in 2015. So I wouldn't be able to remember that far back. I'd have to really think about that. Okay.
I'm not, we're not looking back. I need that water tank painted. So, and it's like trying to finance a car twice, but we're working on it. And we'll fix it.
My other question is, you had mentioned the $100,000 savings for the recycling.
Yes.
And my question is, how would that show up to the taxpayer? Like, is that something, I don't know what the rules are on that. Is that something that's in a utility, like a beach utility? Is that there a recycling utility? Or can that money be moved, for instance, to partially pay for the water tanks, or to have our taxes go lower, or something along those kind of lines?
Can't go for painting the water tower because that's a separate department, just like the beach is a separate department. It could go to pay down different things, like you talk about the garbage cans along wherever, it could go for paying for that because, it's part of trash. So, but the finance team just told me about it, so we'll figure out what we could do with that, or pay or use it for against this year's budget. So I'll be talking to the finance team.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. One other question. Sorry, this just dawned on me. The lawsuit for the Rhode Island Point for the pipes, which is where the water tank was painted, is it possible to reverse that into a different fund? Like, is it possible to like take a bond out on that and then move the money or something, or is that not possible?
Well, no, believe me, that water tank is going to be painted this year. So
Right. No, I understand that.
Our finance team will move some money around to get that job done.
Okay. All right. I know that's been an issue for years, the water tank. I remember that through the years. Yes. All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Coming to Mr. Eugene. Mr. Kramer.
Eugene Kramer, 4th Avenue.
Hi there, Mr. Kramer.
Good evening, everybody. And thank you to the Environmental Commission for all their hard work. I have a question. Last fall, a motor vehicle went into Silver Lake and it completely submerged, and all the oil in the vehicle was liberated into the lake. And that was actually the oil slick was noticed by people investigating. I guess the guy was a taxi driver or something. Anyhow, short of the long of it is the town filed a claim for the environmental damage that was done with that oil? That was at least 5 or 6 quarts of motor oil was dumped into the lake.
I guess our Office of Emergency Management team, I'm not sure, so I really can't answer you. I'll check with them to see if we're going after the insurance company of the vehicle. And if there was a claim for that, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I saw the state police pulled the car up over there by 5th Avenue. And, they did a very good job. Actually, they put down tarps and everything when they were cranking the car up and bringing it up. And I guess they were concerned about, oil spill. But there was no oil left in that vehicle. It was completely submerged and all that oil was liberated into the lake. And Silver Lake became, the surface of Silver Lake became a Rainbow Lake. That sort of, oil is a primary water pollutant. And although a good majority of it probably goes to the surface, we're going to see oil in that lake for some time thereafter. And, it's going to take some work. And eventually, I think our town, like other towns, including Bradley and Spring Lake and Lake Como, are working at making the shorelines of their coastal lakes, living shorelines. And any money that we may get from a claim like that should be used for that sort of purpose. That's about it. I guess that's what I have to say. Although I do have a comment about getting vaccinated, and I wonder why perhaps Monmouth County isn't doing this. If you recall, Monmouth County for a number of years now has been registering all people that have health conditions, and for whatever purpose, their medical history, if they get, if they have to be taken by an ambulance someplace, people would have, the EMS people would have a little bit of background information. I'm just wondering why perhaps the Monmouth County could use or perhaps contact all those people that have been registered with the county as far as getting vaccinated. I'll tell you the truth, I did register and signed into the state website. I also, in order to try to set up an appointment at Hackensack Meridian Jersey Shore Medical Center. And there was another one I tried on Route 66 there, another medical firm. And I couldn't get an appointment, and I went month by month. It almost seemed like a pacifier, just not accessible.
Yeah, I know they're having problems getting the doses and trying to get people vaccinated. Hopefully that they're working on the problem. But I know we've been hearing that from the county and the state that, they're getting only so many doses a day, and it's difficult for everybody because we know the vaccinations are out there and we just can't get to them. So whatever information we have, we'll be trying to get it out there. But we want to get out there to all our seniors that if they do not have a computer to let us know. So even if we can't get them registered, we can keep trying to get them registered. So we'll be working on that.
Mayor, I can't answer Mr. Kramer's question, but I can shed a little more light on this. So I did speak with Freeholder Director Tom Arnone yesterday, and shared, my concerns as the councilman, with the vaccine rollout. The county is equally as frustrated with the program. I mean, I agree. It is a Herculean task, and we all understand that. We understand that there are going to be, technical challenges and glitches and things don't work 100%. But he's very aware of the issues too, and the Freeholder Board is very committed to getting anybody who wants to, particularly vulnerable population, vaccinated. They are not getting the number of doses from the government or state government that they've requested. They're going to be setting up a mega vaccination site at Brookdale College that's separate from the state vaccination sites that are being set up, either on their own or in partnership with somebody else. But the county is aware of this issue, and they're doing the best they can to try to get the vaccines to people in the county. And he was going to touch base with his local health department or the county health department too, and brainstorm with them ways to get more people enrolled.
Thank you for that.
Mr. Kramer,
Mr. Kramer, is that all you have?
Yes, that's all I have, and thank you very much. But like I said, I believe people with health issues are actually registered with the county. I have a card that I carry, in my wallet, and they certainly have my phone number, address, and my email address.
Mr. Kramer, that's a special needs registry that we have here in town with the county. So we do have that, and we contact those involved when there is a storm or something like that. So we have that list.
Yeah,
but are those folks automatically enrolled to be registered? I'm not sure they are. I think we need to double check that.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. But you bring up a good point, Mr. Kramer. We'll check into that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
thank you. One moment. And looking at my list, we're going with Drew. Stand by. Go ahead.
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you. Name and address,
Great.
please.
Great, sure. This is Drew Fromkin, 201 South Lake Drive. Hope you're all doing well. Happy New Year to everybody. I'll try to make this expeditious because I know how long these meetings get. So just a couple quick things. First of all, Mayor Walsifer, I want to commend you and the council for the work you've been doing. I've been in the town since 16. I've seen you come on the scene, and I know you've had a lot on your hands, and I know how hard you've all been working to really right the town and get it in a great position. And I also know from running organizations how difficult it is to get underneath some of these things and understand them, but you're making great progress. So that's my first statement for tonight.
Thank you.
I also want to tell you all that I really want to commend John McGuire. I believe I'm getting him right at DPW. We've been working, I can't tell you how many times I have and other residents have tried to get through to DPW over the years, just give suggestions, do things online, send in suggestions, and it's felt like a black hole. I figured I'd take one more roll of the dice, and I sent a note to John on a couple things that have been hanging out there for a long time the other day by email, and he was back to me first thing the next morning with a wonderful response, and just really brought back a lot of confidence that he's going to get that place righted and do a great job for the town. So I just wanted to make sure that that was communicated as well. And then also really want to commend the Environmental Commission. I do have one question. Where online can we find that report? I was trying to look and I just was having trouble doing so.
It's on the Environmental Commission's page.
Okay. Thank you, April. Really appreciate that. That should have been intuitive, but didn't go there for some reason.
I'm sorry to interrupt. It's also on the documents page as well. If you click our documents, it's in there as
Okay.
well for the PDF.
Great, great. I was certainly asking for myself, but was also asking for others who I'm sure will enjoy reading it. And I want to commend the Environmental Commission. I know Ed Lippincott and the team have worked extremely hard. I've had a chance to get to know Ed, met Tom through the Environmental Commission, that is Councilman Brennan. And, I think there's a lot of work going on there, a lot of great work. I would say that, there's a lot of stress around the environment in Belmar, and this is not unique to Belmar, post Sandy and along the shore. And I also recognize that to have the right budgets to be able to address these things is a very difficult thing for our town and others. I do want to just say that, there's some great things happening there. There are also some real challenges on Silver Lake where I live. I'm not going to take the time of the committee today and the council today to talk about it, but I think there's just tremendous opportunities to make great improvements there. And as I watch that lake deteriorate, I recognize how quickly we're going to run into trouble, not the least of which is we were talking earlier about the pipe that takes the water off of Silver Lake, which is obviously vital post Sandy. At the same time, I can look across the lake and see that that's already overgrown by, a lot of the fauna along the coastline. So, and that's, as I look at it today, I'm sure the water will still get through there, but that seems to me to be something that could be easily maintained to make sure that at least we can get the outflow if we have an emergency. So I'm going to leave it at this for tonight. I think everybody's doing a great job. I really appreciate it. I'm going to talk offline and continue to talk offline with a lot of the folks involved in Belmar and the other residents who are excited about trying to get Silver Lake back to what it used to be. And I also just want to put one other thing out there, and I'll leave it at this. I think there's great opportunity for public and private partnerships around these opportunities. And I don't think the town, and it's because you're so busy, has taken advantage of that opportunity to the extent it can be taken advantage of. And myself included, I want to step up and try to help the town as well on that front. And I know a lot of residents want to do that as well. So I really look forward to seeing the town continue to get righted. Appreciate all your help and look forward to continued dialogue about continuing to improve the town and make it the town it's always been. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Coming to a Douglas, stand by. Go ahead.
Oh, good evening, Council. Two quick items.
If we could just have your name and address first, thank you.
Sorry, I forgot. Douglas Mendy, 605 Ocean Avenue. The water tank painting, you mentioned earlier, Mr. Mayor, was $350,000. Was that the 2015 figure or today's figure?
That was what was bonded in 2015.
Do you have any idea what the current cost is for that job?
We're having our engineers look at it now so that we have up-to-date pricing on what it would cost us.
Okay, and then just one other small issue, and I'm not trying to lay blame with any of the DPW employees, but yesterday we witnessed, for lack of a better term, the golf cart that goes around with the bin on the back picking up recyclables. It was a windy day, and the wind was catching some of the items in the back of the cart and blowing them out onto the street. So I guess that's an engineering type of flaw with the hopper on the back that might need to be looked at in the future.
Yeah, I know a couple times I saw it myself where they try to pick up the cardboard separately because of the cardboard's a lot cheaper to get rid of, and but the guys are usually they're pretty good because they normally stop and pick all that up, but we'll have to talk to them about that.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
You. Maria, stand by. Go ahead.
Hi, good evening. This is Maria Ronzanaro. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Maria.
Wonderful. This is Maria Ronzanaro at 1246 Pine Tree Way. Go ahead, A. Hi. That's my daughter, Adrienne.
Hello.
We're wondering what, I mean, it's such a tragedy that our first aid, which is the oldest volunteer first aid squad in the country, having formed in 1927, has disbanded. And I'm just wondering why? How have we allowed this to happen? Why haven't we supported our first aid better?
We tried to say we're going to take everything over and let us run it, but because they are completely separate from the borough, they've made the decision just to disband. And you know, it is tragic. We really wanted to keep them in place, but they've made the decision to sell everything off.
Well, that is tragic, and I can't understand how dedicated they've been to our town, and all of a sudden they've been able to say, you know what, we'll close. It's disheartening. It's disappointing, and I'm wondering whether it's because we haven't given them enough support on the borough level.
But we have, and we told them we'd take them all over, but they're completely separate.
Completely separate or not, I mean, they are a value to us, and I'm heartbroken that they will be gone. And I'm sad to think that it might be so easy to replace them by April 1st. Yeah.
Ms. Rondanaro, this is Jerry Dasty. I'm the borough attorney. Mayor, if I could just intercede for a second and just talk about, I think some of her comments that, you know, the council could have done more. There is letters between the attorney for First Aid Squad and me, and my letters at the direction of the mayor and council, where let's sit down and try to get this resolved. Let's, you know, we've been funding you a substantial amount in the past. We don't want to see you go out of business. It's going to hurt our citizens, you know, certainly. So we want to be able to sit down and see if we can resolve this with you. And the response was, no, we just do not want to sit down. The volunteers are tired. They want to retire, and they don't want to keep it going. We said, well, why can't you try to get new people? And the answer was no, we're done. They didn't want to sit down with us. So in the past, your taxes have paid on an annual basis a pretty good chunk of money to Belmar, to the First Aid Squad. So it's not a matter, and I'm not here to cast stones, but the die is cast. And the mayor and council have done all we can to try to address their issues and try to resolve them. But it's a mindset apparently, and I'm told it's unanimous by the attorney for the first aid squad, that they just don't want to keep doing it. They just want to close down. So it's not a matter of us not trying.
Yeah, I appreciate what you're saying. And from your dimpled red swivel chairs, right now in your office, from my kitchen table with my daughter, I have to say that I believe in our first aid, that they are better than that. They care more than that. And I just don't believe you. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll send a letter.
Okay, stand by. Coming to Carol. And go ahead.
Hi, it's Carol Moore, 1206 Oakwood Road. I just wanted to bring to light, I found out today after the governor's briefing, the health commissioner has said they are in the final steps of setting up a vaccine call center, especially for people who do not have computers. There is a phone number and it's going to be in service sometime the beginning of next week. I have texted Mr. Brennan the article and the phone number so that you guys maybe include that in the red alert phone call or put it up on the site.
Thank you for that information. That is very helpful.
Yeah, Carol, I got that. I'll forward that to Mr. Kirschenbaum. Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And seeing no hands.
Can I have a motion to close the public session and adjourn the meeting?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you, everyone.